Hello everyone, we're Moss
Charmley.
And in this episode, we're going to actually talk about what actually is inspiring us and maybe could inspire you. So,
just currently little things that
yeah,
aren't so little sometimes.
Not at all. Not at all. Right? Some things that are really big, huge impacts that totally influence creativity. And that's what we just really wanted to share.
Yeah. So currently, we've been watching anime as we usually do.
Mm-hmm. That is our regular thing.
Yeah, it is.
That is the staple of our viewing sessions.
It is. And the anime that we're watching right now is called Ranking of Kings. It has a longer title. It's called Ranking of Kings: The Treasure Chest of Courage. And it's really good.
Yeah, isn't this anime sort of like
a spin-off of it?
Almost like a spin-off kind of a thing,
I think
right?
We read the Wikipedia about it.
Yeah.
And I think so. That is the case. I'm not too sure, really. But it's really...
Still good.
It's
right?
It's a great story, and we wanted to just share how surprising this is. Mm-hmm. The style of it, it looks like an older anime, like a much older anime.
It does. The character designs, are very... if you're not into a little bit of an older, motif, they might throw you off because you're like, okay, what is this? But then,
yes,
right, the animation itself
is fantastic. Okay? Yeah. Yes, please
I have
go
to say,
for it.
The animation is so impressive. I mean, they're showing weight. They're showing actually like this one person gets knocked down. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of swordplay, a lot of really, really, really amazing animation. The movements are exquisite. Obviously very impressed. Very it actually was, it's a big deal. I mean, I cried twice in two episodes.
Watching it.
Right? First 2 episodes I was crying at least twice. It was like, oh my, and the emotion, I mean, of course,
it's super good. The emotions that this anime will make you feel is really amazing. It will pull at all of your heartstrings right away.
All the way.
And it's just a really great story. And so the style has an older anime flair with this really dynamic animation style within it.
Direction and everything, the art, everything. The backgrounds have such an older vibe. It's almost like all of these older techniques, but then it's so modernized. In just because it's obviously so clear. I mean, we're watching it in such high definition, and it's just
kind of reminds you of like an old Miyazaki. Like those older TV or animations.
He did that one, or at least the character designs were the ones where it was like, the older stuff. I can't remember them, but
I know I can never think of the names. There was a
flying horse in one of them, and then it was like that Swiss Family Robinson kind of a vibe one, and then there was that one with the girl.
Yeah, we're just going off but like
we're having our own little personal conversation. Everyone.
But it's true. I was trying to explain, thinking in my head. The Ranking of Kings looks so similar to a much older anime, and I couldn't think of the name of it. It was like Princess Prince or something.
Yeah, that one was the Norse. Remember the one that was the Norse Prince, where it was like very old. One of the old ones.
That's what I mean. It's like those older
barrel and
older animes, and it's just so good. So anyway, the story is this. The story in this. It's about this prince named Boji, and he's deaf.
He's so sweet,
and he's such a sweetheart. He's
deaf. He's mute, but he fully understands. He's in modern age. He's in the modern day. He's just a deaf person. So he reads lips. He understands people, but it's like he's on top of it because he's had to adapt in so many ways. I mean, they do actually use
sign language in it.
I mean, they're actually using sign language, so it's really very interesting. It's an amalgam. I don't know if it's American Sign Language or whatever, but I couldn't pick it out. But amazing. So they're actually dealing with someone who has, he's fully deaf. He's been able to read lips, and he's vocal, which is awesome to see. And I just got to say, like, the whole character, he is absolutely charming. He is such a charming little guy.
He is.
And he's so sweet. And you're just like, my gosh, he's so I'm choking. He's so
compassionate.
Inspirational.
He's brave. He's really courageous. Yeah. He just goes through so much. Yeah. And people treat him,
like
very
garbage.
Very disrespectfully.
Like he's human garbage.
Yeah, they treat him poorly.
And he's still so sweet.
And he's
nice
still so
and
sweet.
compassionate.
And he has that like cute little like kind of like that frog kind of face
Yeah.
expression.
Yeah.
I love that animated.
He's
cute.
like one of those little frog round boys.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that. It's,
He's just, you
it's
know.
so cute.
Yeah. And he's so, yeah.
Yeah, so he
Make you tear up. He's a great character.
he meets this character who's like a little shadow on the ground
Yeah.
with a little claw,
Yeah.
and
He's part
his
of the
name
Shadow
is
Clan?
Kage.
Yeah.
And but anyway, the
He's
story
a little gruff.
He's
a little, you
he's
know,
gruff.
But of course, if you watch the anime, you understand why.
You understand the first 2 episodes. You're in it, and you're just like I can't wait to see more.
Yeah.
So, to explain a little bit more, the story is we haven't finished this story.
No.
It's a longer anime. And we haven't finished it. We're just getting into it, and we just really enjoying it. Yeah. And I just kind of wanted to explain that it's kind of similar to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, believe it or not, right?
Yeah, which is weird in the way of like
Without
how
the overt sexual stuff.
yeah, without any of the overt
The violence is there.
yes,
The blood, the gore,
but
right?
yeah,
Lacerations.
it's-
These things are happening
it
in this
is.
anime. It's surreal.
it's it's yeah, so it's similar to Game of Thrones without that,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is way nicer. And it just tells the story. The story is very an epic.
It is.
That's why
It's-
it's similar
it's
to Game of Thrones in that
So
way.
multifaceted. There is just so much subtlety in the story, the dynamics and the interplay between each character. It's almost one of those things where nobody's really bad. They just have some really unique circumstances, and everyone's impression of the
Yeah,
individual's
that have
actions
made them that way.
make them appear to be really bad, or they're just being rude or angry or upset. It's one of those situations where it's like, hey, there's so much more to these characters than just what's at the surface.
Yes.
And it's like to be able to imbue this in a story like this, you know, with such simplistic animation. I mean, not simplistic animation, but simplistic character designs. You know, this isn't like a, you know, like.
Which
you know,
brings us
yeah.
to the next comparison.
Yeah, that's true.
To this, it's kind of also like Made in Abyss.
Yes.
We love that anime too, so we
Yes.
highly recommend Made in Abyss
Totally.
as well.
It was
And
incredible.
it is really good in the way. Made in Abyss is a great story too, and
Mm-hmm.
it's an epic as well. And what makes it similar to Ranking of Kings is that they have these like cute, charming characters. The style is really sweet looking, and
It's disarming.
it's super disarming. And then they'll give you this story that has very adult topics in the way of, you know, serious things happening to these characters,
Yes.
or
very dark. Very
dark
real.
dark real things in the way of life threatening things, or
Yeah.
how to deal with the crazy situations, or I can't even get into it, but it's like dark situations. And it's so good, so we really highly recommend Made in Abyss.
Yes,
we really
for sure.
we really love that too. So
Like,
yeah,
there is a lot of similarity between
in that way.
you know, yeah, the characters in Made in the Abyss. Is it Rico and the Robot Boy? Like
Yes.
Reg.
Yeah.
And they're really really neat. So yeah, they're definitely that whole, and you know, it's almost like these charming characters that you wouldn't expect something to happen, and you're just like, wow, how are they even emotionally stable? Like, how are they not having major issues right now psychologically?
There
Because this
are-
is some serious stuff.
Yeah, because it just like that in Ranking of Kings and Made in Abyss,
Yes.
they're both on these journeys, and serious things are happening, and
Journeys within themselves,
yes.
journeys with the world, being exposed with
right
real
with themselves
situations.
and the world that they're in. It's so crazy.
Absolutely incredible.
So we just really want to share that. And speaking of art that gives you PTSD, so
yeah, that was
so Made
yeah.
in Abyss kind of gives you that
Yeah, we were
PTSD
talking
feeling.
about, did we see it all? And we're like, yeah, we did. We didn't see one of the movies, but we're like, no, we saw the whole anime, right? I was like, honey, we saw it. But it was like, obviously,
But
it was
we
a little
kind
bit
of
of
forgot
PTSD because it was so serious.
it was so serious, and it was just so, oh my god, that happened
Yeah.
to those characters, and I kind of wanted to block that out
yeah,
because I don't want that to happen to them.
no.
So
Because you care about them, you sympathize.
You
These are
do.
really good characters.
and
They touch you as a
empathize,
human
and
being.
you don't want them to go through that.
It's amazing.
So
Good storytelling.
yes.
Good storytelling right there.
Speaking of more art that gives you
Yes.
PTSD, I bought a book, or I got a book on Christmas. I've been really wanting to read it, and I've been reading it. I'm not
It just got the English translation, didn't it?
Yeah, it got the English translation during this in like November, and I was so excited because this book is called Innocent And it's by Shinichi Sakamoto, and it is. I've been following it in the way that I love the art for it. So I was always collecting these beautiful black and white illustrations that were super gorgeous. Yeah. And I knew the story was rough, but I didn't realize how rough. So, so just a brief thing.
Visually exquisite.
It's visually exquisite. It's gorgeous. The storytelling is beautiful, and it's really
great structure.
It's really amazing. So, it follows the Sanson family of executioners in France before the French Revolution. So, just to
good times. Good times.
Good times. Just
Vive
to
France.
just to let you know, nothing good is going to happen to these characters when you're reading this.
It was before the Bastille. And
it is just really a really rough ride to read it, and it's one of these gorgeous books where I'll read a bit of it, and then I'll have to put it down because it's really intense. So I don't recommend this if you're feeling depressed or if you're being real. I don't recommend
but
this.
Artistically, it's fantastic.
Artistically, it's fantastic. But I don't recommend you reading it when you're feeling sad or just not in a good place.
Yeah. Prepare yourself.
It is very explicit content as well. So just to let you know, this is a very explicit book, very violent and very just...
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful ink work. Gotta tell you.
Really amazing, and I just love the art for it. But just putting that warning out for you.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Highly recommend that. Yeah, it's a rough one.
Not for the faint of heart.
Not for the faint of heart at all. So, but it's a great story, great art. Another thing we're going to talk about.
This was another thing. Now, this is totally change of genre again.
Yeah.
This was a film James Cameron did. It's The Abyss, and they came out with a 4K UHD version of it just recently. So I was like, ooh, I gotta get it because I had it on Blu-ray, I had it on DVD, I had it on VHS, like 2 copies on VHS. I pretty much burned through it just like Empire, but it's basically a completely new revised like rendition of the film. There's definitely been some LUT changing, or like the color schemes have altered a little bit because it's got a little bit more of a blue tinge compared to what I remember. But the whole premise of the story is really quite ahead of its time, because if you think about it, I think it was 1989 when it came out. So yeah, 1989, I think. Well, if I'm correct, please correct me in the comments below. But anyways, for something that was made, pre-2000, I mean, this was actually the dawning of what was computer animation at the time. I mean, this movie...
Yeah, it was my first time ever seeing it, so this was really neat for that.
It was really, really cool. And without this movie, there would be no Jurassic Park, by the way. This is what's so fascinating. The water tentacle scene was a possible edit. They had an alternate scene that they were working on, but because the water tentacle actually worked out in post, they kept it. But that's won them the Oscar for best visual effects. But this was a funny movie because back then, what is called CGI or CG was actually just called computer animation. So that's what it was. So that was before things changed and they needed to give it a different classification. So that was kind of a funny thing. But it's an amazing movie that really didn't do very well in theaters. Yes, there's some kind of hokey compositing in the movie. When there's the big tidal wave that sort of just pauses mid,
I don't think it's hokey for the time, though. Like, that's the
well,
thing.
At the time, yeah, you're right. At the time, some of the compositing was not as high as it could be as it was now. But you could get away with a lot. So, yeah. And that's why, honestly, there was a big thing when James Cameron didn't like blue screens for a long time. That's why if you watch a lot of his movies, like Terminator or any of that, he actually used a lot of projection screens behind the actors. So there's a big reason why he didn't like it. But besides that, it's really interesting when you go back to movies that you sort of were inspired by. And this is one of them for me. So anyways, just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, would you like the story?
I love the story. I thought it was really awesome. I loved all the characters. I loved, I loved just small little details that were put in, with his ring, and he had the blue hand,
Yes.
because he stuck it in the,
Toilet.
to get his ring back.
That was my
It was
favorite
like,
bit of the stories too.
and his hand was blue the whole time.
Yeah.
And I loved it because it was never like, flipping the, camera angle just to like, sometimes if you're crossing the line on a scene, you want everybody to just sort of move in the same direction. So it sort of like tells the story. And sometimes they'll flip the scene because they've filmed it. Someone's sitting on the left when they should be sitting on the right. But in this case, he always, is perfect. It was really well done. So his hand was always blue in the right hand, Sorry, that's a weird thing to say, but
No, it was nice.
it's just really
I
a
think
neat story to
the
say,
story was
so.
really good, and I love that there's a lot of character in
Totally,
the characters.
right? Like the characters
love
were
that.
characters.
Yeah.
They weren't just like these vanilla-ware, looking people, acting type of people. They actually were like these people looked unique. They acted unique, Anyways, get into a whole nother idea about film and all of that, but it was kind of neat to see that, for the first time in, my gosh, it's been 15 years probably. I haven't seen that, so I mean, what do you think about it? I know I went off on my
No,
rant,
I liked
but-
it. I liked the characters. I think they were really cool, and they were really unique, and they were. That's how I could describe it. Just it's nice to see sort of characters that are more kind of people, as opposed to very. How do I describe? It's a lot of the time when we watch TV or movies and stuff, characters are very like cool or tough, but they know all the right things to say, and they're the guy with the briefcase and kind of thing,
It's the guy with the briefcase
Yeah.
saving the girl with the gun.
right? It's
Running down the street with the explosion behind him.
right, yeah.
Gotta get to our Ferrari
Yeah,
and get out of Moscow.
right.
Or some
Everybody's
other
just
city somewhere in the
random
world.
thing.
Because there's spy things.
Yeah. It's just I like that they were just sort of more charactery, and they had quirks.
Yeah.
Like that guy had a rat with him.
Yes, right.
His buddy. Like I like
Yeah,
that. Like
exactly.
he was quirky, and I think it was very cool to see the characters, like the one girl with the cowboy hat singing.
Yeah, she
and
was awesome.
she was cool, and
Driving
like
flatbed.
yeah, with the cup, the little cup holder.
Wasn't that so cool?
I thought that was
I mean,
great.
Little subtle things.
There's like little
Yeah.
things. People had characters.
That's some practical effects for you.
Yeah.
That stuff was legit real.
I like that, and I just like it when characters are more quirky and unique, as opposed to just sort of vague and bland.
Yeah.
Like that. I like that. So
Yeah.
so that's what
nice
I
to see
liked
that.
about it, and honestly, I liked the ending in the way that it was very sweet and happy
Yes.
in a
everybody
way
got
that you
together.
that
Nobody got the bends.
nobody got a Benz, and it was.
Sorry.
No,
You see
it's,
the movie, that's
it's
it.
comical,
Yeah.
and it's just, it's very, it's really good. So it's very good, and
Mm-hmm.
and I like that. So I thought that was a very nice happy ending, and I'm a very big fan of happy endings. So for me, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So also just randomly sharing too,
Mm-hmm.
another really cool thing that's been going on with us that's an inspiration, is that we recently discovered Humble Bundle.
Oh, yes.
And it's a website, just to describe what it is real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a website that you can purchase like books or software or different things or games. And
Highly recommend it.
yes, we highly recommend it.
'Cause they donate
so
a
you-
proportion.
That's what I was getting to.
Sorry.
We donate the proportion. It donates charity, and as you buy it too. So that is so freaking cool. And then you can get things that are so unique. So we recently bought like a cosplay books kind
Yes.
of bundle, and it was really neat. And I love that because I love doing anything with my hands with fabric and whatever, and just in my spare time. So that's really
I want to learn
nice.
how to use Warbler.
Warbler, right?
We're diving deep into the world of Warbler. Seriously.
We're curious. We're Warbler curious.
I want to make some armor.
Right?
Right?
That's why I'm like, come on.
into that,
I've
right?
always wanted to do that. That's always been a passion for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've
Make
always
some
wanted to
goblins.
try. Right?
I know, right?
Right?
It'd be very cool.
Oh my gosh. Also, we bought some Blender courses. Like
we
you
did.
could get classes.
Yes.
So that is so cool. You can get classes on this.
Yeah, they even have one for Godot or Godot.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Godot 4.
pronounce it.
Yeah, right? Godot.
It's like the
Godot.
free,
Yeah.
free
It's a
open
free
source
open source video game
video
creator,
game.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of really cool. But
That
they have
looks
so many wonderful
so
courses,
cool.
right?
Right? I
Nothing's
know.
wrong with expanding your horizons.
Yeah, that's why I love.
You know?
I love the classes. I love
Yeah.
buying classes. I love taking classes.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So,
There's
if
nothing
you-
more inspirational than that.
right? If you've never heard of Humble Bundle, we highly recommend it. So
Yes.
go on that website and check out and see if you might
Get a bundle.
get a bundle. Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
So
Have fun with the bundle.
right.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I think that's it, right?
I think that's it. I hope you just enjoyed us just chit chatting, and we just really wanted to share some fun things with you, and we just really like to talk about things that we enjoy, and yeah, and sometimes we need that break too.
You do. Everybody
Yeah,
needs a
so-
break just to sort of get into something else.
Yeah, these are kind of some of my favorite videos that we make when we just kind of chat about like things that are nice.
We hope everybody likes them too.
Yeah.
Let us know. 'Cause
Yeah.
we can do some more.
Yeah, let us know.
And
if
eventually we'll show ourselves.
eventually.
Right there.
Reveal.
Review. Anyways, okay,
Yes.
right?
Thank you so
Tiffany?
much. Let
Tiffany.
us know what you're inspired by currently.
Please do.
So
Please do.
yeah.
Seriously, because maybe you'll inspire us. We'll check it out too. you
Yeah.
know? A little bit of some inspirational swappage.
Yes.
It's nice. Okay.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everybody.